Imagine being 2 years old on Christmas morning, sleeping in your warm blanket sleeper, all tucked in your cozy bed, resting peacefully with your best friend, also known as your pacifier. Picture being awakened by your mom at 4 a.m., not to open presents or to see if Santa was there, but to go with her and your teenage brother to walk the streets of downtown St. Louis in freezing temperatures. We were searching for people who were unhoused to give them hats, gloves, blankets, and hot chicken noodle soup. I never had to imagine any of this because this has been my reality from the time I was born, as a toddler, as a kid, and now as a teen. In other words, my entire life. I've had a front row view of volunteering and how it changes both the doers and the receivers regardless of their age. I just started high school a few months ago, and now at 14, I'm here to share my experiences and hope that you will be inspired to do what you can to make the world a better place. While growing up, our family would do some sort of community service project at least once a month. When I was about 4 years old, I began noticing that there were never any kids involved. So I started asking my mom to start a group so I could have people my age to play with while we were volunteering. My mom explained to me that there was a time and place for everything, and that service time was not playtime. But that did not make any sense to me because I knew that we were doing things to help others, and I knew that other kids like me could be helping too. So I did what any other little kid would do. I kept asking. In fact, I asked for a few years because my kid brain would not accept no for an answer. She kept saying no and things like, these projects aren't for children, which was very confusing to me because why was I there if they weren't for kids? The more she said no, the more determined I was to keep asking because I knew that we could start our own kid group and do our own service projects and we could have fun while doing them. Every month, I begged my mom to start this group, but she kept saying no. Then one day, my cousin came in town to visit, and she was forced to bring her along. Aha, problem solved, right? Wrong, because the projects were still planned by adults, for adults, and they weren't fun. In fact, they were boring. One day, when we were volunteering at a family shelter, I saw families who lived there and who had kids my age. And right away, I knew that my idea to make volunteering fun for other kids to join me was something that I had to do. Just imagine how it must have been as a 5-year-old, kindergartner, living inside a shelter. I wondered if they had birthday celebrations. Did they ever get the chance to experience pizza parties, nachos, or snow cones? I really wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to experience the same things that I took for granted. After 3 very long years of asking my mom, finally, she said yes. And that was the beginning of an organization for youth, run by youth, with a very simple 3-fold mission: kids, service, and fun. Now let's be honest. When most people think about community service, youth and fun are usually not a part of the equation. But it is for us, and we did it. Since 2016, we have involved over 200 kids, completed over 120 projects, and helped over 5,000 people. And of course, we had fun while doing it. The ages of the kids who participated in these projects ranged from 2 to 18, and all of them received just as much as they gave. They have had opportunities to change lives and communities while practicing leadership, showing empathy, and being agents of change. And of course, we had fun while doing it. This just goes to show that you are never too young to start your own legacy of service. We have completed at least one project every month, even throughout the pandemic. Some of the projects were big, with over 100 kids involved, and some were small, where I did it solo. Some included large corporations as community partners, and others only involved family and friends. I've learned that some can cost thousands of dollars, and others can be absolutely free. Service can take on many different forms. There is no right or wrong way. But the thing that all of our service projects have in common is that they are kid-led, service-oriented, and of course, fun. Step 1, see a need. My big brother Brendan was hospitalized because of complications with diabetes. And during the time I spent at the hospital with him, I saw other sick kids and wanted to do something nice to cheer them up. Our very first project was making 100 Get Well cards that we donated to the Child Life Department at Children's Hospital. We invited kids in our community to bring their crayons and markers, and we came up with our own version of a card party. And by looking at this picture, you can tell that we had fun while doing it. Step 2, take it to the group. You know, I've learned kids like to keep things simple. We've had business meetings in Denny's while eating green pancakes, meetings in the middle of my living room, and even Zoom meetings during the pandemic. This just goes to show that a big fancy office space is not a requirement. The planning can be literally done anywhere. Being a part of this group allows us to be leaders. We get a chance to make decisions, work with one another, plan activities, and of course we have fun while doing it. Step 3, come up with a solution. A few years later, while hosting a playdate at a children's home, we learned that the kids did not have easy access to books. Many of my friends loved reading, and we will often have our Girl Scout meetings at the local library, but we also enjoyed having books at home to read. We set a goal of getting 1,000 new or gently used books to start a library, because everyone should be able to have books where they live. We went to bookstores and asked for donations. We wrote letters to companies, and we used our organization's social media platform to ask for books. We actually went over our goal, and we put a lot of smiles on the kids' faces who lived at the home when we threw a book-themed party where all of the food matched the books. Step 4, make it fun. I'm sure by now, you can tell that this is my favorite part. Because after all, kids just want to have fun. I know that fun is a big part of what makes us different from other service organizations. Fun is what makes kids want to participate in giving back, and fun is what we are intentional about. I did a poll to see which project was the most fun, and the results were overwhelming. We hosted a wellness lock-in for 100 kids and teens, where we stayed up all night and partied to teach the importance of taking care of their minds, bodies, and souls. We swam, did yoga, played basketball, and had a motivational speaker. We might have been a little contradictory in taking care of ourselves because we didn't get adequate rest, but we had so much fun while doing it. Someone recently asked me why I keep doing monthly projects now that I am older and involved in so many other things. My response was this: because I said I would, and because I love putting a smile on other people's faces. I hope that the experiences I've shared with you this afternoon help you see that the size of the project, number of people, cost, and location can all vary. But everyone can do something to give back. And if you make it fun, others will want to join in and help make a difference too. I'm a teenage girl who is not even old enough to drive a car or vote. But I know that I'm doing my part to make the world a better place. My questions for you are: how can you be an agent of change in your community? What will you do the next time you see someone who has a need that you can fulfill? And what will be your legacy of service? And of course, I'm not even done.